Are we live right now? Are we live?
live?
Guys, we're live. So I was saying to all of those haters that I met this very nice guy over here. I was on a job for a T-Mobile installation of some antennas on the roof. And then this guy was a little guy, but he says to me, I said, this guy must be a soccer fan. And I said to him, I said, let me ask you something. I said, by the way, do you follow soccer? And the guy said, yeah. And I said to him, let me guess. I said, what's your favorite team? He said, AC Milan. I said, yes, son of a gun. And then the job went so freaking smoother over there. And then, I told him, I said, yo, do me a favor. This is my card. I want you to watch the podcast all the time. Make sure that you like it and you subscribe it. And then you spread all the news with all your friends because you can have a lot of fun. I said, you know what? There is not much really going on with ESPN and all that BS. Then I said to him, I said, listen, if you watch this one here, you're going to get addicted. And if you're in Brooklyn, you're invited to the podcast just because you're an AC Milan fan. He said, I promise you, I learned everything. So,
sounds like a real tifoso, if you ask
me.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I said, the guy said, after we finish up, and then I made it a curve. I was on this AutoZone parking lot. I stopped by, and he had a black and red car, almost like mine.
Oh,
I had a 500. This guy had an Honda, black and red. He said, see, AC Milan. I said, look at this, see, AC Milan, black and red. So bottom line is, he said, I got you. So he was already looking on YouTube and.
Sounds like a hero.
Do you just find AC Milan fans everywhere you go?
Well, listen, I'm one of those guys that I try to spread the goodness of IFTV all over the place. It's not like you guys, unless somebody hits the website. I'm one of those big time advertisers. So you might not like it, but it is what it is. Okay, so
we appreciate that.
You appreciate that?
Yeah,
oh,
that's good.
That's good to know. What about you, Mike? Do you appreciate that?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Absolutely.
To the fact you appreciate it, you give me half of the shot of the limoncello.
I think you drank the entire thing. I think that's what happened over there. Guys, everybody, welcome to the podcast. What a week of you all right over there? It's not working.
Yeah.
Technical.
Yeah, fix him up. Fix him up. Hey, why is your father looking taller today?
I don't know. He goes on.
He grew overnight.
I don't know if he grew overnight.
Please tell me your secret, Gaetano. I'm begging you. I'll give you anything.
He's top of the table.
Oh, wow, for growing?
For growing, absolutely.
All right, hold on. We'll do this.
Wheaties.
You keep talking, Mike.
No, it's good. It's good.
Oh wow,
I
I
caught
got
it.
14 points.
I did it.
I'm not that far then.
That was 2 weeks ago.
How many points do I get right now?
Well, we're gonna count the prediction video so we can get nice live reactions for it.
I guess I didn't do well. I didn't do well.
And the thing is, when Gaetano came in, he was acting like he didn't know, but I have a feeling that he did know the prediction because he was like, "Oh, who's first?" So I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure who's gonna be first on the table or something. He's giving me a weird face right now.
I want to keep this thing up to date. I want to know where I stand.
I know, but we got to do it on the podcast so we could be nervous at the same time. The countdown and all that stuff. I think that's the best way to do
5 years
it.
old. What is this? A kindergarten?
Kindergarten. I think setting up prediction to see who's the real maestro at the end of the season.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
We've
Guys,
been live the whole time.
Guys,
Yeah,
forget
we've
about
been
all of
live.
this BS. Now we're gonna start to talk about real stuff. Okay, what's the first topic, Paisan?
The first topic is that I think everybody over here, all their teams dropped points, but there's two big teams that didn't drop points.
Like what?
Wait, wasn't Milan.
Wasn't Milan.
Napoli, I guess, was one of them.
Napoli.
And Roma.
And Roma.
That's
Wow,
right.
wow.
The two
See?
teams that didn't drop points this week. Big week. We got a video. Did you guys see the video of Ludovico dancing?
Wow.
Did you see it?
No.
You
Yeah,
didn't
it's
see
hilarious.
it? Oh my
You
God.
have to watch
I
it.
thought we showed you guys this. No, I didn't send it
I
in
thought
the
we
group
sent it in
message.
the group.
Ludovico think he's gonna be first place in the next couple of weeks.
For everybody that wants to see the video, it's on our Instagram at IFTV official.
Let me see.
Is he a Greek? Sounds like Greek music.
Yeah, Paolo.
It's not
It must have-
Napolitano.
Too much amaro del capo.
the next is even better
D'Alessio's,
watch.
new song.
It's too much
Look at-
amaro
look
del
at-
capo.
look at-
Too much amaro
Look
del
at him.
capo.
So funny.
What kind of music is this?
Gigi
Napolitano, I
D'Alessio's new
think.
album.
Huh?
Gigi D'Alessio's new album.
Oh, was it really?
okay.
That's what it was. When Ludovico
Sounds like
showed,
Greek to me.
when Ludovico
Maybe.
showed
Napolitano
me,
Greek
he said, "Make sure
similar."
you post this." So we made sure we put
Hey,
it.
by the way, talking about Ludovico, and I saw recently his picture with Maradona over there. How is Maradona doing now?
I think he was all right now.
Yeah. I
Thank
think
God.
he
Stable
recovered.
condition.
He is in stable condition now, and he's recovering good. Everything went successful.
Beautiful.
Thankfully.
Beautiful.
Ludovico told us a story last podcast, since it was Maradona's birthday,
Amazing
about
story.
how he met Maradona. I don't know if you guys ever.
Yeah, we saw that. I saw
You
that.
heard it. You heard how he met him.
Yeah.
No.
Real quick, he was at his wedding because he worked in the radio business. somebody knew Bruno Giordano, and Ludovico was going on his honeymoon. So he said, hey, can you bring this gift to Bruno Giordano? Once he brought it to Bruno Giordano, Giordano told him, hey, come to training with us. And he ended up letting him meet all the Napoli players. And then that's how he met Maradona. And he said he was the only person in this town that met Maradona. So when he went back, he was a superstar.
Wow.
And when he said, because he had to develop the film, so he didn't want to tell the person that he wanted to develop that he met Maradona. So he was like, this is very important. Make sure this gets complete.
He was so scared that the guy was going to mess it up.
He didn't sleep in like 3 days because he wasn't sure if the photos were going to get messed up. And you can't tell if they were blurry or not when you take them. So he was hoping that it came out good. So we're cracking up.
Too funny. But yeah, I think everybody seems over here kind of struggled a little bit. We know Peter with Inter, we were live for Juventus and for the Inter match, and both of us were very frustrated.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
1-1 draws. Yeah, I saw your video that you seemed like you were mad.
I am mad. I'm not mad. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how mad I am.
You were losing 2-0.
First of all,
Paisan.
First of all, AC Milan outplayed Verona, not by little.
No.
We really outplayed them.
Not in the first half.
Take it easy. Take your turn. We deserve to win at least by 3 or 4 goal differential. So they were two lucky situations that they found themselves, and they wound up scoring 2 goals. Sometimes the worst team wound up capitalizing on mistakes of other people. I don't even think they were mistakes. Were just unfortunate situation because the deflection of Calabria. It can happen to anybody.
Yeah, the goal was there was a deflection too.
Donnarumma
on the Kessie goal, it was a deflection
Take
too.
it easy. Hold on.
Like the reality?
Hold on.
You're attacking the Milan fans over here.
AC Milan outplayed. We didn't score a penalty. We just we outplayed them at every level. So the bottom line is that you guys didn't win. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Atalanta could have won the game and nobody would have just been saying, hey, by the way.
Okay.
You guys, listen, if you guys keep playing that way, you better starting to look for another coach. Like Fiorentina just replaced Iachini. You might need Iachini to take on Inter Milan. Because
don't worry about other coaches. Worry about your coach.
No, listen. We didn't have a great coach, but we're keeping him because we don't have much money to spend.
Your coach has a reputation.
Listen.
So be careful.
First of all, it's now your turn right now to talk. Okay? I am talking right now. I am the one doing the talking.
You don't let anybody talk.
Listen to me. I'm telling you.
But it's always your turn.
We're talking about Milan. Right
No, we're talking about you too. Because listen. Conte
talking about Milan.
is the biggest thief. I wish I can copy him. I wish I can copy him up to steal money. I wish I can do that. I don't know how to do it. The guy is a very good on stealing money from everybody. The guy is a punk. He's a punk. It really does not deserve any pay. Actually, should be paying Inter to have him coach. But anyway, another thing. The only soft spot that I have is for those 2 losers over here because I like Pirlo. Pirlo, he was one of the greatest AC Milan player, and he won just about everything with AC Milan. Thank God he didn't win any Champions League with Juventus, and I pray to God that I will never see that, on the future. But aside from that,
he's angry.
I have a soft spot for Pirlo. That's the only reasons why I have a little bit more sympathy, not for Juventus, but I have the sympathy for Pirlo. And as far as you are concerned, Mike, I know you have a flipper. You like all of those losers.
I'm
like
Milanista. I don't know.
No, you're not Milanista.
I am.
So anyway, Mike.
I don't understand the problem here.
Mike,
I'm a sportivo, right, Gaetano?
Mike,
Sportivo.
what's your day job?
Being a Milan fan and supporting them. That's my day job. And my nighttime job also.
Stick with your day job because I know you're a flipper.
He works a night shift. But.
Oh, he does a night shift? Okay. Okay, go ahead. Now you can talk.
Jeez, you are mad this morning.
Gaetano has something stirring in the bar.
We got them.
Ever.
Go ahead.
Out for blood this morning.
You got to be careful for your coach. Don't worry about the Inter coach. Worry about your coach. Because your coach has got a reputation that when they lose one game, he can go on a long streak. So Milan did play, and they probably deserved to win the game. But in the first half, they were, when they were losing 2-0, they didn't look too good. But you could say that
we outplayed Verona big time.
That at the end you had you hit the post, you missed the penalty, so you had. But I'm still impressed with the team, with Verona. I think Verona, they made a lot of changes from last year, and Juric has a way to let this team play, and they play well, against Juventus. and they're not afraid, to go to San Siro, and they were winning 2-0. So
That's right. Good point.
I agree. I agree with that. And Juric was a guy that we know was linked with Fiorentina, and you had just mentioned it. And since it's relevant news to us right now, I think we should start with Fiorentina a little bit.
Okay, let's start with Fiorentina.
Which I think that they made a good choice now. I think that
Prandelli is a good coach. Yeah.
I think that they made a good choice in not waiting too long. There were reports earlier this morning that they were going to stick with Iachini and give him more time. And we know last year they had this debate with Montella where they decided to keep him. They kept giving him more times, match after match after match, and then they ended up losing out on their opportunity of getting Gattuso, who ended up joining Napoli. And I thought they were going to make the same mistake this year by giving Iachini too much time. And all of us have been very adamant since even before the season started that Iachini was not a coach to lead Fiorentina to where Fiorentina's ambitions are. We all knew that. We've all said that. We even said that he would be gone by the match, by Parma match. He tied 0-0, and he was sacked now officially, and they brought in Cesare Prandelli. For Iachini, I think Iachini's always going to be that guy that you could bring. He's good to bring in maybe for like the last quarter of the season, the last 5-10 games. He tries to save teams from relegation, but beyond that, he's not a coach that you could build any real plan on. Now, Cesare Prandelli is the guy that they went with. There was talks of bringing back Montella. There was talks of Aquilani. There was talks of Sarri and Spalletti. But they chose Prandelli, who did coach Fiorentina in the past. What's everybody's thoughts on the sacking, which I think we all agree is justified, and then Prandelli?
Okay, I just wanted to say I think this was the right idea. Like Marco was saying, I think we're all on the same page with Iachini, with what's going on. But now he's going to be paying 3 coaches. I don't think a lot of people agreed with me. I thought it wouldn't be the worst idea to bring Montella back since they were already paying him, and he has a better squad than what he had a couple of seasons ago. And I think Prandelli is a step above Iachini and probably on the same level as Montella anyway. So I don't think that would have been the worst option to try him out. I want to know what you guys would have thought about that. Did you think the relationship was just burnt, or did you think they just wanted to try something else in terms of a different coach? Peter, what do you think?
I think going back to Montella would be a step backwards.
How come?
Because Montella hasn't really been able to prove anything past that, good Fiorentina side that he had a couple of years ago. Besides that, he hasn't done anything anywhere he's gone. And I think they already passed that point. They needed something new. They needed something fresh. Prandelli, he brought Fiorentina to Champions League. He was one of the catalysts for Fiorentina during the time that he was there to bring enthusiasm. And he had some great players that he's coached. So he has experience. He knows what it is to coach Fiorentina. The fans know what to expect. The only thing is with Prandelli, he's been out of the game for a while. So as we see, football and the rest of things evolve. So it's interesting to see if Prandelli is able to also evolve with the times. Iachini for me was never the coach for Fiorentina. I think for their project, if they're going to be aiming for Europa League, Iachini doesn't even make that, and his past has proven that. He's a coach that's going to keep you maybe in Serie A, but I don't see how he can push for Europe.
That's fair.
So
You agree it was the right time to sack him?
I partially disagree with Peter. I agree.
You agree?
yeah, well, I mean, now you're gonna have the time where they're on international break.
Right.
You can discuss certain things, and then within a week or so, you're gonna be able to start training these guys. So
I kind of agree with him, but except for the fact that Montella could have been a good fit again for Fiorentina, knowing that he's been already. He knows Joe Barone and he knows Commisso. It would have been, something that, you don't have to just start from scratch with somebody like Montella. Plus, the organic that they have right now on board is a lot more, it's richer than what they actually had when Montella was there. And Montella had limited players and limited a team to work with, which was not what they have right now. So I think Montella, for me, is a lot more qualified than Prandelli, given the fact that Prandelli has been out for a long time and Montella was a good player, so I'm not sure about Prandelli. Prandelli was a decent player back then, but
him and his players.
Montella was the little plane.
But it's besides also, on the field. It's also in the locker room. How you relate to certain players. So even though that there's some new players, there is some players that were there last year. So there's a lot to decide on. So
what were your thoughts?
So, bringing back Montella, absolutely not.
Jesus.
I
Wow.
would not
course not.
bring him back. He was already there. He didn't look too good. I remember when Inter was looking for a coach and they were saying, "Oh, bring back Mourinho," and then I spoke to a lot of the Interists and they said, "No, once you coach at a place, don't bring the coach back because it usually doesn't work out." So I feel the same way for Prandelli. If we look at Prandelli history, well, he did okay with Italy. He did okay, I think, in the European Cup. He did well, and I like the way he played. But he was in the World Cup right, in 2014, and he didn't do too good there. I mean, we didn't look too good. The thing that I don't like about Prandelli, even though he did pretty good. I mean, in 1997, he was. He was with Atalanta. 1998 he was with Lecce. In 1999 he was with Verona. In 2000 he was with Venezia. In 2002 he was with Parma. In 2004 he was with Roma. Then he went to Galatasaray. Then he went to Valencia. Then he went to Al Nazir, whatever that is. Then he went to Genoa. I mean, he changed a lot of team, and when a coach changes, if you stay there 3 years, 4 years, okay. He did stay with Fiorentina for, I think, he did stay there for 5 years,
Wow, that's a lot.
and then with Italy stayed for a few years. Then all the other teams, when you stay 1 year, I don't know, why do you stay 1 year? That means your project, you have to be able to sell your project at least for 3 years. Then if the project doesn't work, then you move on.
The only thing that I like about Prandelli, I gotta be honest with you, is the fact that when Cassano was still in
brought him back.
the Serie A, he won it. Cassano,
He brought him back.
Yeah, Cassano, he valued Cassano a lot, and Cassano paid. But Cassano
So,
repaid him with a
the
lot
best
of good stuff.
thing. The best thing about Prandelli is that he was born in August of 1957, and that's when I was. That's when I was born.
That's the best part about
That's
it.
best qualification.
That's the best
Which
qualification.
day was that?
No, but we only a few days away. But no, of course, with Fiorentina, with our friends, with Rocco and Joe, we hope the best, and we hope that this is the time where they get a good coach. The team is good. Joe, Rocco, I like the team. I like the players. You have the players to be right after Milano and Torino and Roma. You need to, you got to be right there.
Napoli.
Okay, you need to be right there. Right now, Napoli. So that's where you belong. You belong number 6. That's where you belong.
7 sisters.
And that's where you should be. So I'm hoping all the best, and I'm hoping that that he works out.
I absolutely agree. I mean, Montella, there's no way you could bring Montella back. That's the opposite.
that crazy?
It's absolutely
Why is it
crazy.
that crazy?
Because you're going back. You just fired him for a specific reason. Now you're basically saying, wait, we were wrong about that. Let's bring back a guy who wasn't able to bring results to the club.
Pretty much a new squad,
It's
though.
it's a complete opposite. It's a complete opposite of what you needed.
Where's the new squad?
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5.
Montella's out of
More
the
than
question.
half.
I would never bring Montella back. Once you do that, now you're starting to show insecurity, and it's not the right move to bring Montella back. So I think
Wait.
they did really well.
Are you
and I think
saying-
that Prandelli.
Hey, it's not your turn yet.
I think that Prandelli is a good choice. He understands Florence. I loved his Fiorentina at the time that he was there. In Italy in Euro 2012, he brought to life a team that was dead. In 2010, Italy was dead. He was able to choose the right players. He brought Balotelli and Cassano, who were seen as outsiders, as you shouldn't bring these guys into the team. He brought life and excitement back to Italy in 2012. Yes, he dipped off. I'm not saying he's the best out there. Obviously, I think Sarri and Spalletti would have been great, but those are two top coaches that are not going to take over a team mid-term. So in terms of that, I think that compared to Montella, compared to Aquilani, Prandelli is the best choice out of all three. Too much uncertainty around Aquilani, and you're already past the stone of Montella. I hope that Prandelli, we could see that form of Italy 2012 and Fiorentina during the time that he built a great team.
Is De Rossi still officially a coach, or is still going through the school and all the stuff through Coverciano or whatever?
No, he doesn't have his license
He
yet.
doesn't have the license yet.
No.
Yeah, but
But
besides,
he-
I don't
he
think
has no
I don't think
experience.
you take that also.
Don't get him started.
You have to have a.
Don't get him
I just hope that this project, the Prandelli, is not there just for the
Yeah, exactly.
right now.
Yeah.
I hope
For the
that they
long
had
term.
the discussion. Say, Prandelli, we see you for the next 2-3 years,
Mm.
and that's how you're going to be able to build a team. And Doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be successful,
Mm-hmm.
but at least you'll see a progress. You see the certain progress of the team, and it's climbing up the ladder.
Okay, let
So
me ask you
let's-
something. Since you're an expert,
topic.
Paisa, I'm talking to you. let's if you are Commisso or Joe, and you're making a decision whether to sack somebody to bring somebody else, what would that be the criteria for you to say, hey, listen, I see the way you put the team on the field. I see the formation. I see the way the team responds. It's not what I want. Is that your main reasons, or you just say, hey, listen, the team is not producing results.
So
We need to change.
there are three
regardless.
reasons.
Okay.
One is the fans that don't want you anymore, and
Okay.
the
Okay.
public is against you, and the media is against you. Everybody's against you.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the players are not following you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Once the player they don't follow you in the locker room, you're done. You're finished.
You better leave. Yeah.
You better leave. And number three, the results. There's
Right.
no results. I mean, you need to bring, with the team that he has, he's got a great goalkeeper. I mean,
Spectacular midfield.
the midfield,
defense.
the
Even
midfield
the
is
forward
very
line,
good.
Forward line.
Cáceres,
Petzela is a
Milankovic,
good, very good defender.
Is a good
Cáceres.
Milankovic is
Cáceres
very
is the-
good.
Cáceres.
Maybe the center. I mean, they got three center forwards. They got Cutrone. They have Vladovic and Kwame. They have three center forwards, but they're not scoring. They are maybe for the three. I would rather have one that will put the ball in the net. That's where maybe
It's the system probably that they're using
because
is not really
I mean
working.
you had, and now you have also the wings. I mean you could have nice wings from each side. You have Callejon. You have
Amrabat on the
Lirola.
middle right there. Like
Lirola is very fast.
Biraghi.
Ribéry, but I mean Ribéry could be the
He's the
one,
brain, yeah, he's the brain of the team.
the number 10, that the regista,
But Amrabat is
the maestro there.
excellent player.
I think the only thing that they're missing, other than the coach, is the number 9 that puts the ball in the net, and
We
then the team is complete.
We agree. Speaking about lacking number 9s, Inter tied 1-1 to Atalanta. Lukaku didn't start the match. Obviously, he was still hurt. He did come in. Lautaro Martinez scored the first goal. Atalanta pulled the match back, and it ended in a tie. Obviously, we said that both teams were not in their greatest of moments. Atalanta coming off of a bunch of poor results. Liverpool was just around the corner. And Inter, too. I think it's 1 win in 8 matches.
One win in 8 matches, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, 1 win in 8 matches
so happy
for
to hear
Inter.
that.
And Conte, you could definitely feel that he's on the hot seat. Even after the match, they asked him, they said, what do you have to say to the people who think that Conte doesn't have the fire inside him anymore, or the desire to win? He told him to lay off the alcohol, lay off the wine.
Wow.
So you could tell that there's some pressure. Peter, as an Inter fan, how'd you feel about the draw, the results, everything that's going around this season?
Pull another excuse from your hat. Let's go.
No, it's no excuses. I
Pull it
think
from the hood.
Listen, with Antonio Conte, you, he's definitely on the hot seat.
Good.
This is the year that Inter is supposed to compete for the Scudetto, and the way that we started is not the way that a team that wins a Scudetto starts. But saying that, we're right there, right? Because we're lucky, I guess, this year. You have Juventus that we don't know what to expect, and probably having a worse season than Inter, considering it all. You have Napoli are up, but we're still trying to figure out this Napoli, Gattuso's Napoli. Milan is there, but recent results, there's
First
some
place.
problems
First place.
that could arise.
First place.
But going back to Inter, I'm trying to analyze this game and say, okay, look at Real Madrid. The Real Madrid game, we saw with a Perisic Lautaro how bad that attack looked. And I think with a Lautaro Sanchez, already we saw a little improvement. Definitely it was a game where Conte had this team, cautious, right? We saw there wasn't many opportunities, especially in the first half. They were just trying to feel each other out, both teams, coming off of losses from the Champions League. But what I did like to see was Sanchez, Lautaro brought a little more liveliness, and then the back line of a Bastoni, De Vrij, Skriniar, which is what this Inter needs in order to win or even have thoughts of winning a Scudetto. And we stopped a Atalanta team who is quite dangerous in attack to only 1 goal. That's one positive. Now I'm going to talk about the negative.
Okay.
Negatives.
I thought there were no negatives. Let's go.
Negatives.
Number one. How many negatives we have, Pete? Tell me.
Hold on. So negatives, I want to go to the style of play, right? Conte's style, and this is something that's been, things that we've always attacked him on.
What is Conte's style, by the way? For the people that don't know, what is it?
The predictability
Oh,
of this Inter. Everything always seems to go the same way. The ball moves the same way. There's missing that creative link, right? Especially when you have a player like Eriksen, who, let's say, he's been poor since coming. He's had some chances this year at least, but we're missing that creativity in that midfield. Conte's system is that hard knot midfielder, Vidal, Barella, Brozovic, guys like that. But everything keeps on moving to the sides and crosses and so on and so forth. Long ball to Lautaro holding up, play and whatnot. So that is one criticism. Second criticism is Conte's fault as well, I think. The substitutes, right? In a game that's 1-0, you change both strikers, Lautaro and Alexis Sanchez. You don't have any upcoming games. And you put in a Lukaku, Perisic. Question marks. I'm not saying that there's maybe a reason behind it. Lautaro looked tired. Sanchez was just coming back from injury. But I think it sends the wrong message to the team, maybe. Because you still at 1-0, you're in this game, and you have to go for that second goal. You have to finish this game. And then third, it's just been the Inter players' lack of scoring and finishing a match. I mean, Vidal, we saw him. He was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper on a breakaway. What do you mean? You got to score that. I'm sorry. Especially Vidal.
That's not Conte's fault there.
You're getting a player like Vidal with all the experience and what Conte was looking for. You got to finish that chance and put the game to rest. 2-0. That happens. Atalanta doesn't come back. And then we saw it. Atalanta had that one shot. They play well, and they scored. 1-1.
They deserve even to win.
They could have won afterwards, and that's also a question mark to Conte and trying to get this team back in. Mentally, I think we're not ready yet, and we need to start getting a string of results. Listen, winning brings on winning, right? Once Inter gets into some sort of form, then I want to see how we can compete with the top teams. But right now, I feel like it's very, very tense right now within the locker room.
Let's get your opinion.
I
know you do. Sure.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna stop after this.
First of all, what makes you think that everybody's gonna roll out the red carpet for you to just win a string of games? That's out. Okay. Second of all, you keep finding excuses for this guy here.
I criticize them.
Listen to me. Conte does not have a system. Okay. You keep saying Conte's game, Conte's system. It does not have a system. Anything that he does is copying, and it's not even good at copying.
Forget about copying.
Let me tell you something. Okay. If you got a copy, you put a piece of trace, and you just trace the line. Just stay on top of the line, okay? Until you really finish up to draw the picture, okay?
What else?
Did you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Copying is something that a child is capable to do. Conte is not even good at copying somebody, great rules. Okay. Like the Gasperini. Gasperini doesn't play the 3-5-2. He plays the 3 defender. But Gasperini, it's
and he takes 5 goals from Liverpool.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Listen, hey. My turn.
Okay. He's on a roll.
Gasperini doesn't embarrass himself. No, he goes all the way. He doesn't change style. Gasperini, he goes all the way out. Okay.
What else? What else? On top of the copying?
It's my turn.
No
okay.
Number 2. That's it.
You guys have to understand that all the prediction that you made before the beginning of the season, you got the player that you want. You got the coach that you want. You should have sacked the guy. You keep paying him 12 million euro, 13 million euros. So that means that you made a commitment. You think you got everything already on the bag or in the tank. Forget about it. So far, you're saying we need a string of wins. It's not going to come. You have AC Milan that kick your ass already. Lazio, Roma, Juventus, Napoli, and even mediocre teams that are going to give you hard time. So you thinking rolling over all of those teams is going to be easy? It's not. Number one. Number two, you're a good guy, Pete. I like you. I love you. I mean, you could be my son. Thank God you're not my son.
Thank you.
But listen, you have to just say as it is. Just call it as it is. I said, Conte is a disaster. If you say it, I'm going to kiss your freaking hand. Just say it.
Don't say
Conte is a fucking disaster.
Oh my God.
He's a disaster. He said that Yakin is available right now. So he made himself available for Fiorentina. That guy is going to do a better job for you. Just take him and you'll see it. With all the players that you have, you're getting one of the best players in Europe, Eriksen, to become depressed. The guy wants to leave. He can't wait to get out of there. You know what? We'll take him. We can take him. Okay, for free we'll take him. All right. And what the last thing, you get Vidal, you get all the players that you want. I got to tell you something. Once you get players that they have one foot on the grave and another one on a banana peel, what do you think Real Madrid let those people go, or Barcelona? Do you think that they're gonna let them go to Inter because they can they got a better price? They're not good anymore. If they were any good, they would have kept them. So that's why you guys got it. And I mean not you, Conte, he was bragging them. I said, come on, we're going to win everything. I want an experienced player to win the Campionato and the Champions League. That's what he said. Now you got the experienced player. Show me what you have. Okay? Now you have to live up to your words. Now it's your turn. Oh, I'm sorry. The maestro here. Go ahead.
You done?
Sorry, I'm done. It's
Sorry?
out. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Pete, if you could be a son, I would shoot myself. Anyway, going back to Conte, I am disappointed. I was always one that defended Conte, but I'm disappointed this year on Conte. I mean, you can always do the 3-5-2. If you have Ericsson and you don't have a place for Ericsson on the 3-5-2, try to arrange or to try to change something, so that this guy, maybe you could find him a position. Why don't you try the 4-2-3-1, and try to put this guy in a position where he can succeed. Or, you played the 4-4-2 before with Juventus. Try something else. The 3-5-2, I never liked the 3-5-2 in the Champions League. Why? Because the 3-5, the two that they are on the wings, they become fullbacks when you lose the ball. And if the other team has got some really fast players,
you're done.
That guy's not going to come back on time. You could do it sometimes, but not all the time. So I would think that it would be smart enough to make some adjustments, and I haven't seen those adjustments. There is still plenty of time in the Campionato. I mean, it's a marathon, and there's still a long way to go. And like he was saying, since Juventus is behind this year, and Milan, I do not believe yet that they can last the whole season like this. So there's still a chance for the other teams to catch up.
I think that everybody's overreacting a little bit to Inter. I think that every team is going to go through these poor waves. They lost I don't know how many players with COVID. Lukaku then got injured. Every team's going to go through these bad runs. And I understand your point. I understand everybody's point too about Conte. And I agree to an extent that I am pretty disappointed in Conte. And I've seen how ignorant Conte is to not understanding how to change in time. And I think that's the biggest thing that takes him back from being this top coach and winning, in Europe and all this stuff, is that he's got this stubbornness. And, I respect that he loves his players, that he'll die for his players. But at a certain point, some of the greatest coaches in history are the ones that can adapt and can move on the fly and can read situations and say, oh, I saw a little thing there. Let me tweak this and see if I can make something better. But again, I think that everybody's overreacting a little bit. Inter is a long season. When they need a vice Lukaku, somebody behind him. But I think that they're going to bounce back, and they're just through a rough period right now. That's my opinion.
Look what Ancelotti did with Pirlo.
Let's let Mike.
Mike.
No, I was going to say, I agree with some of you guys. I agree with Marco too. Last season, I gave Conte the benefit of the doubt because of the first season. This season, okay, who is that, Conte? He had some problems with COVID and stuff. Only 7 rounds in, but I am a little disappointed in terms of the he's so stubborn in that way. But I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to judge him just yet. I want to wait till mid-season or when we go through maybe, I don't know, till we're halfway through the season. Then we'll see his stance. But stuff like Vidal, if Vidal put that away, we would have been talking about what a great win by Inter and all that stuff. So there's these slight things that happened here and there, but overall, my stance for Conte is still on hold. But he is definitely on the hot seat. 1 win in 8 games is unacceptable for a coach that's getting paid that much, and with everything that's going on. But yeah, definitely a little slight overreaction. But hold a pause on Conte for me.
I agree. Before we get into Juventus and then the Juventus Napoli, which there was a ruling for it. I want to remind everybody, you're seeing everybody at the table where the new merchandise that's going to be available next week, next Monday,
What about me?
October 16th. We've got our next drop coming. We did our photo shoot
Show me.
yesterday.
Mike, flip it over here.
Where-
You're a flipper. Flip over here. Okay.
We got a lot of new designs coming October 16th, ItalianFootballTV.com. Sign up for our mailing list. Text us at 917-905-2169. I almost forgot the number for a second. We're going to have exclusive deals, exclusive look. Anyone who's part of our mailing list or our text messaging platform is going to see all the full designs and full pictures coming real soon. So make sure you get on that and be ready. Next Monday, October 16th, is the next release. November.
November.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm losing the days over here.
I just want to say thank you for the donation from BidDoc. He said, I agree with Antonio, and I'm an Inter tifoso. Let me finish. Conte shows limitation, and with the way Inter is playing, they can do better than last year. Inter should bring an old legend as coach like Pirlo or Juventus, maybe Cambiaso. It looks like you messaged.
Yeah, did you just write that? Is that what the phone call was?
No.
Did you text
That's
him
what
saying
that
That was
comment?
Gino, my co-manager and coach for the Brooklyn Italian. So Gino, I'm going to call you right back. So I'm on live. I told you I'm on live podcast. But I wanted to add what to finish up what we were discussing about Conte. I said Conte should be making a phone call to Ancelotti and ask him. I said, hey, by the way, how the hell you adapt Pirlo to becoming a midfielder from the register of the defensive register, and then just make the game flow for AC Milan and becoming a spectacular display on the field. So he should be actually adapt a player like Eriksen to a different role, or find a spot like Gaetano said. He's a champion. The guy, how can be the leader of his national team and the leader of the team where he used to play before? Can I find a spot on a team like Inter with all of those champions surrounding him? So if you're not capable to do that, that means that you don't know what you're doing. Not you, Pete. I mean Conte.
We understand.
I
We
don't
understand
know
what
what
you're
you're
doing.
doing.
It is an interesting point, because I remember last year in January when Inter signed Eriksen, my thought was that Eriksen was going to be converted into a Brozovic. I thought he was going to play as a regista, adapt his game, because I said there's no way this player plays under Conte. I said unless Conte somehow changes his formation and change around the tactics, that's why I always thought he was going to play there. And it's funny because Cassano, I don't know if you heard this. I'm wondering if the reason why you brought that up is because you read Cassano's interview. Did you?
No.
Okay, well, Cassano said that
When?
Conte...
When did that happen?
It was yesterday or 2
Oh
days
boy,
ago.
what did he say?
Cassano said that Conte should swap, put Eriksen in the Pirlo role,
Ooh!
right in front as a regista.
You see?
Which is like what we had said, what you just said now, and what I had thought that he was always going to become. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it will be interesting to see how he can do that. But again, now you're changing a player's
Who does that
position.
job right now? Brozovic, pretty much. But actually, it's actually Barella. Actually, Barella is always playing in front of the defense, and Brozovic, right?
Brozo more.
So why don't you switch this guy here? That could be a great idea. I mean, I thought about Ancelotti because Ancelotti, he coached AC Milan, and then when Pirlo up there, up to when Ancelotti took the job, it was like a midfielder.
I think Conte's real problem with Eriksen isn't so much where he can place him on the field, but his intensity level.
character, yeah.
So Conte wants a type of player that's going to be going in for a slide tackle, winning the ball. So
Pirlo played under Conte though.
It's true.
And I know it's Pirlo, so we're not comparing the two, but he did have that kind of, and Pirlo was more intense than some people gave him credit for. But it will be interesting to see how it goes. We got to talk about Juventus Napoli. The decision for the match was supposed to be today. The appeal that Napoli made, obviously at this point right now, if you remember, Juventus Napoli did not show up for the match. they were docked 1 point, and Juventus were awarded the 3 points for the match. They filed an appeal because it was given, the points were given in that sense. The decision was supposed to come today. And after, I don't know how long of waiting, maybe a month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks for an appeal, we have not gotten a decision, and they decided to postpone it when we were expecting an announcement today. I do not know what's taking so long. Yeah. How much do you have to check into what happened to be able to determine if this appeal is legitimate or not?
The game should be replayed and should take the penalty away from Napoli. I mean, hey, just do the right thing. I mean, hey, play the game, win the game on the field, and then that's it.
I don't necessarily agree. I think that everything that's happened since that match, I was on the side of Napoli. I thought they were right to not show up. But now, I mean, I don't think they should be docked a point. I definitely,
a little too much, right?
I don't agree with the docking a point. But, I mean, multiple teams have been traveling to Torino now. Napoli has traveled outside of where they are. You know, the situation seems like it's been okay so far. Whatever.
Actually, it's getting worse.
It is getting worse, but I mean, like, every team is going and playing their matches. So why that match wasn't played, I don't know how they could find, you know, a legitimate reason to not go there. And I know they said that Naples, the Campania region, didn't. But so yeah, it's complicated. I can't believe that the decision's not made, and to me, that's a bigger storyline is how it's not been made. Juventus did tie to Lazio in a very, very intense second half. Juventus scored early on 1-0 Cristiano Ronaldo. The first half wasn't that bad from Juventus' perspective. Second half, in my opinion, the Juventus just they wanted to run out with this win. They had 1-0. I think they thought, hey, we could close this out. They were not going up. And credit to Lazio, where Lazio did this 1 week earlier against Torino. They fought back in the last 5-6 minutes of the match to turn it around and win. And we've seen from Lazio, they are capable of winning matches. They live the motto fino alla fine, because until the last second, those guys believe that they could win. And in fact, they scored 1 second over the time. That's how much they really wanted to score. So in the second half, 94-01, Caicedo, who came off the bench once again, scored the tying goal for Lazio. And all credit to them, because I think with the way that Juventus looked in that second half, I think that a draw was probably the most fair result. Very, 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 very disappointed in not only Dybala, who I was obviously very critical of, because how stupid you have to be for 10 seconds to not control the ball properly, hold the ball, get a foul. I mean, every footballer learns this right away, that in the last second, you let the guy come on you, foul you, you go to the ground, the game is over. Or at the very least, you kick that ball far.
He dribbled it out.
And I think that that's Juventus, again, overthinking and everybody trying to overdo themselves. But at the same time, Rabiot, Bentancur, Cuadrado, Bonucci, all embarrassed on that last throw-in, because Correa looked like Maradona dribbling through everybody,
100%.
which should never happen.
Yeah,
I saw the Juventus game. To be honest with you, Juventus game is getting a lot more fluid. I think that the Pirlo is going to, little by little, I think Pirlo is going to come out of this dark tunnel. The thing is that Conte is not going to be able to do it because he's trying. But Pirlo is starting to get some impression on the team, and I'm starting to see the team just with a lot more fluidity. I mean, the players, they know what they're supposed to be. They're getting balls. It's the fluidity on the game. It's there right now. So it's very unfortunate that Lazio get a score at the last seconds. But I mean, to me, Juventus deserved the game, because I went back home and I watched the game. Actually, I watched the game at 6:30 in the morning, and then on my way back, I watched the AC Milan game and the Inter Milan game, because I watched only the first half. To me, Atalanta overplayed Inter, and Juventus overplayed Napoli. I mean, Lazio. You criticizing a little bit too much, because I think you're a little bit upset. But Juventus deserved the win to me. Okay, really? Lazio didn't show much. Actually, on the last 10 minutes, Lazio was so slow, even inbounding the ball and passing. They were passing lateral pass like that. They had no sense of urgency to get this game tied. So it was just a lack of draw that they just went up scoring on the last seconds. I mean, it happened to the best team and to the worst team. The way you want to put it, I think Lazio, they just have the lady fortune on their side this year. So
I don't agree with you on that.
Listen, it's luck. It's nothing
It's
but
not
luck.
Okay, first of all, I think the Lazio were missing a few key players. The Capocannoniere wasn't there. Lazzari wasn't there. They were missing another midfielder or two. Juve, okay, I feel like Lazio, for the most part, had most of the possession and stuff, and Juve played a little bit more organized. But I feel like as soon as Ronaldo came out, he came off with it looked like an injury. It doesn't seem to be serious. That's when Juve kind of parked the bus, and like Marco said, we're hoping to close out the game. And I just want to bring out a funny thing, how Marusic was about to throw in the ball on the other side, and then Inzaghi was right next to him and pushed him, and it was like, and he showed him Correa, and then he ended up throwing it to Correa, who, like Marco said again, he looked like Maradona, but it was really bad defending by Juve. Went around him, Caicedo, as he does, gets the late goals. He's nothing new from here, and scores it from there. I think a tie was not a crazy scenario. It just looked kind of crazy because it happened at the absolute last second of the game. But overall, I didn't think Juve were that much more special than Lazio to really deserve the 3 points. They should have got the 3 points with how it was played out. But it ends as a draw, and it wasn't too crazy because most of the other big teams dropped points except Napoli and Roma.
So you basically say that I'm right. So what do you think?
Not really. I said the opposite, sort of.
Well, I am disappointed on Pirlo. I think of the Juventus. I mean, I understand that the defenders, they screwed up, Dybala screwed up. But the biggest disappointment for me so far is Pirlo, because Pirlo has players that nobody else has in Italy. Okay, you have the most talented team in Italy, and I'm talking about Quadrado, who's playing fantastic. I'm talking about Bonucci and Chiellini, that they were the great defenders of 9 years and and that they won so many goals. You have Chiesa, talented young players, Kulusevski, Chiesa, Morata, Ronaldo, Dybala. Are you kidding me? I mean, you got a Dybala, who the guy's got so much talent, and now this kid looks like he is done. Because from what I could see, they do not believe in this kid. So what happened? Last summer, they wanted to sell him, and now he's always on the bench. He's coming off the bench all the time, and he plays the last 10-15 minutes.
Like a Primavera player.
Yeah, so somebody who's that talented, the way that it's either the top management for Dybala, because now it's becoming, Dybala is a mental case. It's a mental case. But Pirlo, you still have so much talent there that the team should play much better. And I see Pirlo is not clear. 1 week Chiesa plays on the left, 1 week plays on the right. 1 week Kulusevski plays right wing, then he plays left wing, then he plays left midfielder, and yesterday he played right midfielder.
And he's out as an attacking midfielder too at times.
Yesterday on the 3, he played the right midfielders. And then, Ronaldo, one time he plays on the left, and then now he plays with the 2 people up front. So it's who's going to be? It's going to be Dybala and Ronaldo. It's going to be Morata and Dybala. And Ronaldo is going to be... Anyway, to me, his mind is not clear and how to put this team on the field.
For sure. I agree.
And that's what
I think it's very true. I definitely agree with that. And I think that he's trying to force a system and a formation that doesn't really fit Juventus. I don't like the way that the team has lined up and look. Obviously, I do agree that there's been players who don't show the right intensity and who are not following simple football rules. Artur has been sick. He's had this stomach problem, which is the reason why they said that he was subbed off. Who knows whether it's true or not. But yeah, it's disappointing, and I think that what will be crucial after the international break is seeing De Ligt and Alexandro back for Juventus.
Oh, I forgot to put De Ligt and Alessandro. So when you add De Ligt and Alessandro with Arthur and all those other guys, I mean, come on.
When they come back from international break, I think that's when you need to see the real Juventus. And, after a couple of matches, you need to see the right idea. De Ligt will be huge for the defense, and Alexandro as well. And I agree. You need to start seeing some kind of consistency, and he doesn't know what's...
Even though Demiral is doing a decent job.
Yeah, he is. And Danilo, too, surprisingly. We've never seen Danilo play football as good as this. But I think that it's also forcing him to play the 3-man back line. When he plays the 3-man back line, I don't like it, because then you got Ronaldo and Morata up top. Again, it's complicated. I think that the team is more adapt for the 4-3-3, or 4-2-3-1. I think that that's just naturally where the team can play.
No, you're copying Pioli now, 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I'm copying Pioli. He is my idol. So yeah, that's what I think about Juventus. unfortunately, but we'll see when the team comes back. All good stuff from Lazio, who did very well.
Did you think they
being
deserved
out from with so many difficult players? I already said I said that they deserved the tie. So well done for them without Immobile and without them. Napoli also won against Bologna. Everybody's thoughts?
Hey, Osimhen is the difference maker over there. What do you think, Mike?
I saw that. Yeah, Osimhen was good, but at the end, Napoli really could have paid. I think it was who the hell was it? I think it was Santander that almost got a goal in like the 89th minute. So Napoli was really risking a tie on that one. Koulibaly scored a goal, but it was taken off. But for the most part, they got the 3 points, but I think it was a shaky 3 points. And the best time to get it when the other top teams dropped points. So now Napoli are really close over there, and all the teams right now are just a couple points away from each other. So it's going to be interesting come round 38 and see who's going to be in the top 4 spots. It's going to be a really good Serie A race.
That top 4 is so strange because, like right now, I mean, even Roma, Mkhitaryan is on fire and Roma's entire team is on fire. 3-1 win for them over Genoa. I mean, we've all had differences on who we see in the 4th place. I think a lot of the bigger guys has stumped down this year, and even Milan being in 1st place.
What's the problem with that?
What the problem is that it makes it complicated for every team to get the 4 spots. Who's going to fill in those 4 spots? Sassuolo, Milan, Roma, Napoli. Everybody going. Peter's making a face.
No, the first place we are right now. We are first place. Yeah. Forget about the 4th place. You can talk about Inter about 4th spot. Right now we are first place. Maybe.
Because of this year, it's still early. There's going to be a lot of games being played this year where you have to play a Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They have to be able to fill it up because you have the Euros coming up. So even with, for example, Napoli, right? They narrowly won 1-0 versus Bologna. But this is an important game, especially in Serie A where the results is what really, ultimately comes down to. That's what counts. You get that win. You're coming off from Europa League playing on Thursday. It's not so easy between not just the physical levels, how you're feeling fitness-wise and the players, but also mentally. It's draining. Then during the whole COVID and players getting sick and players not being on the team. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. But that being said, even like you said, Roma is a surprise. I like the way they're playing. I think Pedro, Mkhitaryan, and Dzeko is an unbelievable trident, man. These 2 guys can run off of and play off of Dzeko, who holds the ball, can turn, and you have these 2 speedsters who also know how to move the ball. They're going to be an interesting side. So I think there's a lot of good teams. Like you said before, when you say no one's going to roll down and bow down to you, you're going to see a lot of, I think, upsets also. So we have a lot of games.
It's a good example that you just brought up. I mean, look Fonseca what he did with Pedro. Yeah. Pedro, he was just implanted right now, like last week. They put it in. The guy, he's into the fluidity of Roma. It's actually making Roma going a lot more fluid. Mkhitaryan, I mean, a good player. What about Eriksson? He's not a good player. He's a great player.
Yeah, you got to stop bringing the conversation back to Eriksson.
All right, so let me make a couple of comments about Napoli. I'm really impressed with Napoli. Koulibaly played some game, and this guy Lozano, wow, what a player! If you look at from last year to this year, what a change this guy's made. So I like Gattuso. He played actually with almost 4 forwards, and he managed to balance the team. And I think the balance is this guy Bakayoko. I mean, he created this balance between the
defensive
midfield, and he's able to play with a very offensive line. So good job by Gattuso that he was able to do this. As far as the goal from the Koulibaly, there was a foul before. That's why that
didn't count.
That's why it did not count. Talking about Roma real quick, I mean, I have said it from the beginning. I like Fonseca. I don't know if you guys remember. I've said it from last year that Fonseca is one of the best coaches in Italy.
You said you wanted him sacked,
and he's the most balanced. No, that was him.
I didn't say that. Never. Go roll the tape. Put the VAR back on. Don't let He's lying.
So just to look at Roma. Okay, and let's look at Fonseca. Yesterday, he took out Majorales. He put Cristante in the back. He put Mancini up front. He put Miki center forward or falso nove. This is the change. He changed one play. He changed 3 position, and the guy Miki scored 3 goals. I mean,
take some notes, right?
I mean, that is unbelievable. And another thing that I have to say for Roma, Dzeko did not play.
Yeah, COVID.
So Roma is not Dzeko dependent, not like Inter, who's Lukaku dependent, not like Milan, who's Ibra dependent.
Yes.
And not like
we actually won more game without Ibra.
And not like Juve, that is Ronaldo dependent. Okay, so
Fonseca.
good job by Fonseca.
That was well said.
Okay.
Another thing,
that's
I
a
want
very
to pick
good-
up on what you just said. Your father. I mean, your father is a nice
No,
guy.
no,
I mean,
no. Your time is over.
I'm not giving
Your
you,
time is
I am
over.
not giving you any credit.
Your time is
I am not
over.
giving you any credit. I'm
time.
just saying to you that you are learning from me by just justifying that Bakayoko, according to you, it was the link between the defense and the midfielder. That means that our coach is capable of plugging in key players like Bakayoko or like Eriksen and just make them play how they want them to play.
Okay, so
Thank you
I
for
don't
picking
understand
up.
your
So in other
point.
words,
What's your point?
My point
That was
is-
my point.
No, that was my point.
Boyakoko.
No,
Bakayoko.
Bakayoko.
Bakayoko or Yoko Baba.
Bakayoko.
Okay,
is
well,
exactly
right. But
That's what Gattuso wanted.
Gattuso is doing what Ancelotti did with Pirlo. He's reading into the game and I said, "This is what I want you to do." Forget about
Bakayoko
what
was
you
always
did
a defensive
before.
Yeah, but you didn't bring
This
it
is
up.
what I
I
want you
did.
to do it. I brought up Pirlo before you. Okay?
You brought him.
We're talking about
All right,
Napoli.
case closed. You won. That's it.
No, I
Case
won.
closed.
This is not. I wanted to put the point. I wanted to bring up the point about Napoli.
Good.
We were talking about Napoli. I brought up about Napoli.
I like
What
it.
a good job Gattuso is doing.
You should tell to him.
Okay.
You should tell him.
Let's finish this off. We have international break upon us.
Oh boy.
Mancini called up 41 Italian players to the national team. I don't know. I think maybe Gaetano, Dad, Antonio, maybe you guys want to get a run on Mancini might take you too. He seems to be giving anybody and everybody with an Italian citizenship a chance.
Well, I think that Mancini is positive for COVID, so I think he lost a little bit track, and he's gonna coach from remote with the computer. So maybe he doesn't see everybody in the computer. I don't know.
Maybe his computer had a glitch.
Yeah,
Maybe
something
put select
happened.
all.
Or maybe he didn't have his glasses on this
Yeah,
time.
Maybe
yeah.
He
they're
doesn't
doing
know how
an
many players he's
expectation.
got.
Out of 41 players, maybe 20 they're going to come down with COVID and it's going to have at least another 20 players to work with. You never know until you put them
It
on the
doesn't
field.
make any sense.
Also, by the way,
It doesn't
Lorenzo
make any sense.
Pellegrini said on Instagram today that he tested positive for COVID, so he's in isolation. By
All right,
the way,
so they have 40. So
I
they take
guess
40
40.
instead of 41. That makes it a lot better.
We're just saying.
By the way, this international break that's continuing to go on is ridiculous.
Yeah.
International break for the most part is always insane to me, but to do it now for these matches is just absolute madness.
No, there's too much traveling. You can't do that.
It's the we need to keep the sanctity of the leagues playing right now first and foremost. Everybody's playing. They're playing so many games back to back. There's Champions League, Europa League, Serie A, missed games, made up games, all this stuff. And now on top of it, you're throwing international break where some teams are missing 10, 13, 15
Yeah,
players
too much.
due to COVID positive. We're going to ruin the entire leagues by putting international break, continuing to put international break where they're traveling all over the place. Within 7 days, they're going everywhere across Europe.
Yeah, it's not smart.
To me, international break for this year should be suspended, especially we just had an international break. To put another one right now, it's crazy.
The thing is, you think they learned because the last international break, there were so many clubs that got the players back, and so many of these players got COVID. So it's definitely not smart to do it again. I don't know what they're doing. There's already too much games. They're already pushing the games so close to each other. People getting injured, people getting COVID, and now international break.
Injuries, that's a good point.
I think it's way too much. At the end of the day, they're humans. You can't be pushing them to the limit. There's just too much.
I
going on.
disagree.
Why do you
guys,
disagree?
listen
I
to
feel like
me.
you just disagree just
Guys,
to
Yeah, I
disagree.
know, just like
Not-
a call.
if we came in here and said that they should go international break, I feel like you would say they shouldn't.
Guys, listen to me.
It's just my thought.
You're getting paid to play.
Okay.
You're getting paid to play. A professional should listen.
They get paid by the clubs.
You're getting paid
that's
to
They
play.
get paid by the
That's
clubs,
true.
not the
When-
national
and
teams.
especially when the national team calls you, it's actually a higher call for you to do what you're supposed to do. Now, the fact is the fact that you guys, I mean, Inter, Juventus, and other teams, they have a lot of players committed to their national team. It's a big drawback for you guys because you want your guys to be fresher all the time. But this is part of the game. Plus, the fact that, Mike, we're not going to be playing the international games right now. They're going to spill over. Whether you play now or you play later, it's going to happen.
But it's a weird time to do it.
Right now, we're having 10 players that are COVID
It's
positive.
better before than after.
I don't think so. Oh, okay. Before
Europe is getting shut down currently, all going in
Yeah,
lockdowns
no,
again,
it's-
and we're like, okay, now's a great time to continue going with international.
It's probably the
break.
worst time because a lot of the European countries are going. But before we say, there's a donation here from Spinner Media. He said, F1 for Anto, who do Red Bull need to do with Alex Albin? Are Red Bull poorly
Albion.
run?
It's not Albion. Albion.
Oh, that's how we spelled
All right.
it. Are Red Bull poorly run, and is Horner a loser? Does Hulkenberg or Perez need to replace
Mike, it
Albon?
sounds like you're reading out of a dictionary.
That's how I
All
feel.
right,
I don't know these names.
listen.
Albern, Hasenberg, who are these
Listen,
people?
Albion.
Anton?
Listen.
It is quick.
The Red
It is
Bull.
quick.
Well, Red Bull is a great scuderia. So they have Verstappen, and they have Albion. So the fact is that they're in second position right now in the construction championship is because Ferrari is not living up to the expectation that they were supposed to. Ferrari is supposed to be
Like
one of the
Inter.
top team. No, I forget. Don't compare Ferrari with Inter. Anyway, so this is with the Formula One and the COVID and all the stuff. It's an evolving situation because they cramped all of those Grand Prix a week from each other. You normally sometimes you play you run every 2 weeks or 3 weeks sometimes. So they cram all of this stuff into the schedule. So this year has been already is a disaster. So the McLaren, the Mercedes has won already the pilot championship and the constructor too. And right now they're already building up, and they're on the new project for the cars for next year. And the specs they're not gonna be that far off. So the pilots right now they are all scrambling. They're doing they are actually doing like the music chair. So some of the Scuderia they just buy them a pilot. Like Vettel is going to another Scuderia. We're getting Perez from another team. So it's just a musical chair right now that is going to be played out. And in March we're supposed to see what the real situation with Formula One is. Until then, this Formula One this year they played it because the sponsorship already put the money over there, and they had to do it. So until then, we're going to wait until March. So it's over.
Jeez.
So the no pilot should be criticized right now.
I feel like you're talking Italian, by the way. I had no clue what you were saying.
Anything else on your notes?
Yeah, just one last thing about this COVID-19 test. It seems like they take a test with UEFA and it comes up positive, and then they take a test and they go to Avellino or wherever they go there, and then they're negative. So come on, get together, have one test, the same test, so that these players, you can. This cannot be happening, in 2020. Where you test positive for one test and then you test negative, and then the guy cannot play and maybe he could have played. So that's I'm hoping that this week they get together and they decide between the UEFA and the local authorities and make one test for everybody.
There definitely should be some sort of higher mandate for football and for all the sports. I agree with you. It's weird to see one player in Champions League. They had said Immobile. For Champions League, he can't play, but then for Serie A, he can, based off the tests they're taking. Peter, anything else from you? Anything that happened this week? You remember that's interesting?
He's like, why'd you call on me?
I don't know.
Like the
I'm
teacher or
just
something.
asking a
they want-
question.
After the international break, can you just read the next few games after the international break? Because I'm
still-
interested to see it.
We still got some
We got
time.
like
Mike,
2 weeks. I
Mike, you
can look into
could you could go over
You
that
can
real
go
quick.
look at it.
Find that, and we'll end off. Del Piero's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
46th birthday to Alessandro Del Piero. I want to know what does everybody see Del Piero as a player? One of the last of a generation, I think, that held professionalism, loyalty, stood by his team when they needed him, and always performed in the important matches. Personally, my idol. I didn't have many idols in football, but Del Piero was one of them.
So he was the maestro coming from the left to the right and into the area, outside the area, and curving the ball this way. He scored so many goals like that. The guy was incredible. He won a world championship with Juventus, the best club in the world, and he won the World Cup in 2006. So he was world champions more than once. I saw him score some incredible goals dribbling. I mean, he had everything. He was talented in every way, in technique, tactically, dribbling, scoring. One of certainly the best player that Italy's ever had.
Nice guy too,
Wow.
because we met him. You remember at the embassy? Very, very like you can talk to him like he's your buddies or your very, very friendly.
Very,
Just,
very, very nice guy. He lives
so-
in Los Angeles now, and every time he passes by New York, he calls me and he said, "Let's have coffee." And very nice guy.
He actually gave a quote about players that don't respect fans or that don't stop for fans and take pictures and autograph. And he said that he thinks that we need to see more players take a second out of their day to sign autographs and take pictures of the fans. His quote was, "It's a second for us to do, but it's a lifetime of joy for our idols and for our fans." So I love that about Del Piero, and that was the thing for me. Obviously on the field, I mean, the technique that he had and the things that he could do with the ball were just incredible. But for me, it was the professionalism. That's what I looked towards, because you never saw Del Piero try to cheat the game. He always really respected not only his teammates but the opposition, and I love the leadership about him too. Even when Juventus went to Serie B, he said a true gentleman never leaves his lady. He wanted to stay. He loved the team. He fought for the team no matter what. Even when the team treated, I think that the real characterization of Del Piero, even when the team treated him badly, when they kicked him out unfairly and Agnelli announced that he was going to be leaving without Del Piero even having the right, and Del Piero earned everything to be able to say, "Oh, I'm leaving," and Agnelli wanted to step in and say, "No, you're leaving," to broadcast that, and he still never had one bad thing to say about Juventus. I think is a testament to the character that he is and the character of a player he was.
It's funny that you say that the players should stop and take pictures. And the last time that I met him and he was in transit, he told me a story. He goes, this morning I was taking a plane and then my flight was canceled and I had to go and take another plane. And I had to run, otherwise I would miss the flight. And while I was running from one gate to the other gate, of course there are fans, that want a picture. And, I feel so bad when I cannot stop and take a picture. And just for him to tell me that story, why is that important, But for him, it was important just to tell me how bad he felt, that sometimes he cannot stop and take a picture. So that's it was funny that you said that.
We have one good one, too. When we were in Torino, we stayed at the same hotel years ago, 2009 maybe. We stayed at the same hotel as Juventus. And we went to watch a game, and after the match, they played a Europa League match against some bad team. Del Piero scored that match. Del Piero and Bonucci were sitting at the bar. We were right there too, and no fans are allowed inside the stadium. And they're having a drink. They just finished the match. It's late, like 11
inside
midnight.
the hotel.
Inside the hotel, two fans run in and they spot Del Piero and they start screaming. And security drags him outside. Del Piero again drinking. He's just he's relaxing. Puts his drink down next to Bonucci. Goes outside of the hotel. Tells him, let these two guys come in, takes pictures, signs autographs, does all that, then goes back to take his drink. As no other Juventus player even batted an eye, he's the best player on the team by a country mile, and he still took the right to do that. And another time when we were in Philadelphia, they allowed fans in, everybody was walking away, and Del Piero was making sure every young player and every player, he didn't allow one fan to go home without taking a picture, signing an autograph, and he used it as an example to show the other guys, like, hey, if I'm doing this, you guys all better be doing it too.
Class
amazing.
act.
So that's the
Ale.
one thing about Del Piero.
Grande Alessandro.
Okay, guys. Good?
Yeah, I want to say the fixtures real quick. And before I say
Ooh.
that, thanks. What?
Is this the standings?
No, I was going to say the fixture. Anto said the fixtures for next
You're saying
time.
for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the standings?
The games for next time. Who's going to be playing?
I just
who?
want to say a
No, not
thanks
that.
for the donation from Josue. He said thoughts on Lapadula switching to the Peruvian national team. He officially switched
Did he?
and now he's representing Peru.
I had no
he played
idea.
off friendly for that Zuri. He actually scored a hat trick for it, but it wasn't recognized from FIFA, so they let him switch national teams.
It's fine.
So now he's representing. He actually got a nice
Yeah,
tattoo
no
of
other chance.
Peru.
Yeah, who cares? He's
Of
not
a
going to
Peruvian
play for
tattoo.
Italy.
No,
Might
I'm
as
just
well.
saying. I just want to read it out.
I didn't know that
he's half
Lapadula
Peruvian.
was Peruvian.
He's
We're
half
finally on
Peru.
to-
Yeah,
we're
he's-
finally on to-
I
I didn't
knew
know he
it.
switched national
You
teams.
don't know
I knew it.
No, I knew he's half
I
Peruvian.
knew
I
it was Peruvian.
didn't know he could switch, but
Chato keep telling me Antonio Lapadula is Peruvian.
Okay.
Go ahead, say this games. I mean, this is 2 weeks from now. I want to
No,
know
I
who's.
wanna know.
I want to know who's in first
wanna
place.
know.
Okay, go ahead.
AC Milan is on first place. What do you mean?
Okay,
You
so-
still don't know that AC Milan is first place?
So next round of
I'm
the
talking about us.
Who cares about that
Was
nonsense?
your last place?
I don't know. Go ahead.
So the next round of Serie A, which starts November 21st, we got. Are you peeking?
No.
We got
November
Crotone.
21st.
Yes,
Oh,
the
that's-
next one.
wow.
Yeah, the international break.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
almost. Go ahead.
Crotone Lazio, Spezia Atalanta, Juventus Cagliari, November 22nd. Fiorentino Benevento, Verona Sassuolo, Inter Torino, Roma Parma, Sampdoria Bologna, Udine Genoa, and Napoli Milan. Oh,
Gattuso
boy,
returns.
that's
Gattuso
good.
returns. Gattuso revenge.
Sweat.
We're gonna win
Napoli,
this game.
Milan or Milan?
Napoli, Milan.
Napoli Milan.
We're
So
gonna
in,
win this
in
game.
Napoli.
You're gonna win this
That-
game.
We're gonna win this
Very
game.
good
Big deal.
pronunciation, Mike.
On what?
Congratulations on the teams. Your pronunciation
I'm
of
learning
the
from
teams.
Maestri over here. How can I not learn?
No,
you
because
know?
Cagliari is very difficult to pronounce for somebody
I
that
said
I'm a
is not
Greek guy,
Italian.
you know. So
Like you didn't add up. We didn't add up the. I didn't
No,
add
it
up the
wasn't-
scores yet. You
Had
didn't
up
add
the
the
No.
stands.
scores. So
What happened?
we'll have
You
to do
didn't
it
have them
after.
up?
We didn't
Alright,
understand
we
the.
can do
I-
that. We can do that off camera.
Yeah,
we could do it after. I know Peter, you kept getting results. I know that for
I
sure.
think
I know
your dad
you kept
got
getting
the
Yeah,
results.
this guy I think is in first place.
Yeah, I think
he got 2 exact. No,
you got 2
Yeah.
exact.
He got 2 exact.
He got 2 exact when no one else had it. So that's
Yeah.
a 4 straight
Yeah.
clean points.
I just saw Peter smiling with a few
Yeah.
of them. I think you got the Juventus, right? So anyway, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like the video for more content. As always, we'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, guys. Forza
Hey, but you didn't say push. What did you say?
I'll
Stars.
say it
and-
really quick.
Guys, make sure you like it and you subscribe it to the
Oh,
podcast, okay?